Hello, what's going on? What's up? Welcome back to my channel. I am snowed in today along with millions of other Americans. In New England, we've been hit by a lovely blizzard, very high winds. I have not lost power, thankfully, and some sizable amounts of snow. I don't know the exact amount that we've gotten here in Rhode Island, but yeah, I'm not working today. I didn't work last night either. So with this snowfall, with the bitter cold of winter, and with my lovely head that is full of depression and anxiety and existential anguish, I felt like this was the perfect day to do my top 10 black metal albums of all time. My personal favorite top 10 black metal albums ever made. A couple things before I start. I only own one of these records, which is very lame for a person that's talking about metal, and a person that has a channel that's mostly dedicated to extreme metal. Yeah, only having one of my top 10 black metal albums is pretty lame and poser-ish, I guess, but I don't really care. But I thought I should mention that. And there's also some notable snubs on this list, some classic bands and albums that I will not mention that are not on this list. Bergtatt, Bathory, Mayhem, Gorgoroth, Marduk. All bands that I love and that I'm a huge fan of, but I only had 10 choices and none of those bands made the list, so that's that. So yeah, top 10 black metal albums ever made, in my opinion, my top 10 favorite. Here they are. So starting off this list at number 10, I have Mgla with Exercises in Futility. This is one of the most notorious black metal albums that has been made this century. It's one of the most accessible black metal albums, and definitely like a beginner type album for this genre. The newest album on this list, I think it came out in like 2015. This is these guys' third full length, and like I said, it's a very accessible album for the casual metal fan, but still an absolute masterpiece. Revolutionary drum work by Darkthrone, who is one of the best black metal drummers of all time. Memorable riffs that have stuck with me since my first listen. And if you know this band, it's a lot about nihilism, but the sound itself, to me, is very hopeful. And I think this album has a hopeful energy and atmosphere. It's epic, it's melodic, and possibly the best modern black metal band. Not really sure. These guys are still going strong today. Yeah, number 10, Mgla. Alright, my number 9, Deathspell Omega, C Monvmentvm Reqvires Circvmspice. However you pronounce that, I think it's a Latin phrase meaning, if you seek his monument, look around you. Decipher that however you may. This is one of 3 albums / bands on this list that are personal enough to me that I got some form of them tattooed on me. In this case, I have lyrics from Carnal Malefactor off this album tattooed on me, which I will show, of course. Very painful tattoo, but very, very worth it. Carnal Malefactor is, I think, one of the finest black metal songs ever recorded. Talking about this album, this is these guys' third full length. They are from France. It's the first in a trilogy, followed by Foss and Paracletus. It's a trilogy focusing on the theological existence of the devil from the viewpoint of an actual theistic Satanist, which is a very prominent theme with this band. These guys are actually satanic, and this is true satanic black metal. These guys play it, and they live the lives of actual Satanists. This is not poser, edgy, like, oh, devil stuff. This is legit Satanism. This was my first exposure to this band and to the genius work that these guys have put out. It is unbelievable chaos in musical form. It's grim, it's insane, and it's like hyper technical and avant-garde and just crazy. I don't hard to describe this stuff. Pericletus is their most popular album and is probably the best one that they've released, but this one is more personal to me. It's the first one I discovered from these guys, and that's why I chose that over Pericletus. So Deathspell at number 9. Number 8, the band that you're hearing in the background, not this specific album, but the band Ulver, Bergtatt, from 1995, I believe. Has a longer title, Bergtatt et Eventri E5 Capitler, which means Bergtatt means spellbound, and then it means a fairy tale in 5 chapters. This album is probably the closest that black metal can sound to something like a fairy tale. In my opinion, this is the best atmospheric black metal album of all time. It sounds exactly like the cover. It's folky, it's woodsy, it's mysterious, very peaceful at times, very harsh at times. It has perfect harsh vocals, beautiful melancholic riffs. It's slightly raw, and it's sort of a preview of the much more raw sound that the band would use in a later album that I'm going to mention later in this video, which is higher on my list. And it's the album that you're hearing in the background. But Bergtatt is a classic Norwegian black metal fucking masterpiece. And yeah, number 8. Number 7, I have Immortal, At the Heart of Winter. This is these guys' 5th full-length. I want to say 98 or 99 or something when they released this. I didn't write it down. Another pretty accessible black metal album. It's even sort of more of a blackened thrash album, or blackened heavy metal even. It's not as like raw and as ugly sounding, but it has some of the best riffs ever written in a metal album, period, to me. It's epic. It has a grand, just huge atmosphere. The cover, again, it sounds like the album. It sounds like you're traveling through this wintry landscape, through this like huge blizzard, and there's big glaciers everywhere. I'm not actually sure what's on this album cover, but it's wintry and big, and you know. Some of the best vocals from Abath on this album, some of his best work, his best guitar work, and probably the cleanest, best production that Immortal has had, and probably the best drum performance that these guys have had. And it's my personal favorite Immortal album. Another black metal album that got me further into the genre. So yeah, Immortal at number 7, At the Heart of Winter. My number 6, Darkthrone, Ablaze in the Northern Sky. I do not own this specific record, but I do have something kind of close to it. I do have The Wind of 666 Blackhearts, Volume 1, which is basically rehearsals from 1991 of a lot of the tracks that would appear on this album. But what can I say about Blaze in the Northern Sky? This is their second full length after Soulside Journey, the debut full length, which was a death metal record. This record is sort of almost a blackened death record. It definitely you can hear the transition into the black sound that they would adopt completely later in their career. Yeah, this was my first black metal obsession, pretty much. The opening track, Catharian Life Code, I was just put in a trance by, like, maybe not the first time I heard it, but second or third or fourth time. The first time I heard a lot of these albums, I was like, what the hell is this? But the way that track opens, the like heavy bass, the setup of the atmosphere, the like that weird like moaning, and that like ugly, nasty, demonic voice that comes in, Blaze in the Northern Sky, and then it just goes into just nasty black atmosphere in production. It's just, I don't know, took me into another world. The rawness, the harshness, the visceral, cold atmosphere and aesthetic I just fell in love with. Like I said, it's more of a blackened death record. You can definitely hear a lot of the death metal influence in this. Chunky, plodding riffs, which is more of the death metal side, and then it's mixed with this blistering speed and ferocity and this underproduced raw sound that is black metal. But absolute classic in the genre. It's probably a lot of people's number one of all time black metal record. For me, it's number 6. I do have another inclusion from these guys later on. So, yeah, number 6, Blaze in the Northern Sky.